very good morning and welcome to Breakfast News. As always, we start off with a look at the headlines. TNA processes an ultimatum to the government during discussions. The government states that the ultimatum cannot be fulfilled within a short period. And in international news, striking new images from the mountains of Mars show flowing liquid water. Now for those stories in detail, the Tamil National Alliance has proposed an ultimatum to the government during discussions held yesterday towards reaching a political solution. UPFA parliamentarian Sajinwas Gunawardana stated that the TNA had requested the government to provide solutions to these ultimatums within 10 days. When we made inquiries in this regard, the TNA stated that they intended to disclose a discussion in the future.
We had the 10th round of discussions with the Tamil National Alliance, and what basically emanated from the discussions today was that the ultimatum was given to the government. Now, the ultimatum that was given was for the committee to fulfill 3 conditions. That is, 1 is for us to, in writing, provide the structure of governance. Number 2, for us to provide in writing the subjects which would be held by the centre and which would be devolved to the province. And number 3, to discuss the fiscal and the financial devolution that is entailed in any political solution. Now, we have been discussing as a committee representing the SLFP, which is the main party in governance today, to arrive at a consensus as to how we should proceed, to give a proposal on these matters in a period of 10 days.
TNA MP M.A. Sunandaram expressed his views on this.
The 10th round of talks between the Tamil National Alliance and the government delegation for a political settlement took place last afternoon at the Presidential Secretariat. At the 3rd round on the 18th of March 2011, we had given some points for discussion to the government delegation on paper, and although they had agreed to respond to that several times, there was no response forthcoming even by yesterday. So the TNA suggested to the government delegation that they respond on 3 matters. That is, firstly, the structure of governance. Secondly, the subjects and functions that have to be divided between the centre and the devolved unit. And thirdly, fiscal and financial powers that must be devolved. And we stated that when we have that response from the government within 2 weeks, after that, we'll be willing to continue with the dialogue.
Well, police investigations have been launched into the attack carried out on the Eragama police checkpoint in Ampara. Police media spokesperson SP Prashantha Jayakodi stated that investigations have been launched into the incident by the Inspector of Police of Damana. According to police media spokesperson SP Prashantha Jayakodi, the facts surrounding the incident will be heard before court today. He added that no arrests have been made in relation to the incident as yet. A group of individuals have launched an attack on the Eragama police checkpoint in Ampara Wednesday night. According to the police media spokesperson SP Prashantha Jayakodi, the attack had been launched following the arrest of an individual. 5 police officers who suffered injuries in the assault are currently receiving treatment in hospital. The Department of Examinations has requested those who have received more than 1 admission card for the upcoming GCE Advanced Level examinations to return the extra admission card to the Department of Examinations. Commissioner General of Examinations Anwar Singh has stated that a group of students had obtained 2 admission cards by submitting 2 applications for the examination. The Commissioner General of Examinations stated that it is illegal to obtain more than 1 admission card in this manner. Singh added that invigilators have been informed in this regard. He went on to say that if a student appears for the examination with the possession of 2 admission cards, they will be suspended from sitting for the examination for a period of 2 years. Well, the Ministry of Cooperatives and Internal Trade states that the Sri Lankan Standards Institution has not permitted cement from a Pakistan company to be imported to the country as it has not met with quality standards. Secretary to the Ministry, Sunil Sirisena, stated that this has resulted in a temporary shortage of cement. 5 companies are permitted to import cement into the island. The Secretary to the Ministry added that they have not been permitted to import cement from the Pakistani company due to the lack of quality standards. Farmers of the Mahavali zone have been severely inconvenienced due to the rapidly receding water levels of the Kala River. The farmers of the Galnam and Megha areas who cultivated their paddy lands in the Yala season with the hope of gathering a successful harvest are left pinning away as the paddy fields have been destroyed due to this reason. They state that while they may still be able to salvage their harvest provided that 3 more tons of water are received by these paddy lands, the failure of which will result in the destruction of over 40% of the paddy cultivation. Expect a detailed report on lunchtime news. Well, in sports news this morning, we start off with some cricket news. Well, after having suffered successive defeats during their England tour, the Indian cricket team underwent a grueling session at the nets during practice match in Northampton. India will take on Northamptonshire in a warm-up match today.
Despite rain, the Indian cricket team was on their toes and sweating it out at the nets during a practice at Northern's County Ground in Northampton. The cricketers had a grueling time at practice that mostly took place at the indoor facility. Indian cricketers like Suresh Raina, Praveen Kumar, Virendra Sehwag were seen hitting it out during net practice. Explosive opener Sehwag, who missed the first 2 tests because of a surgery, is expected to join the team, and his opening partner Gautam Gambhir is also expected to be fit for the 3rd test. Sehwag has 22 hundreds in 87 test appearances, but his strike rate of almost 82 runs per 100 deliveries that make him one of the most intimidating batsmen in cricket. India arrived in England as the top-ranked test team and is still basking in the glory of 50-over World Cup victory on home soil in April, but the tourists have now been comprehensively outplayed in the first 2 matches of the 4-match series. Indian captain Mahendra Singh Dhoni's men lost by 196 runs at Lord's last week and were battered by 319 runs within 4 days at Trent Bridge on Monday, putting England on course to claim the top ranking if they complete a series win by 2 clear games. Former players and fans in different parts of India had expressed hurt and outrage after India's morale-sapping 2nd cricket test defeat by the hosts. Birmingham will host the 3rd test from the 10th of August, while the 4th and final match is at the Oval in London from the 18th of August.
Well, Samoa-born centre Manu Tuilagi is named in England's starting 15 for this weekend's World Cup warm-up match against Wales at Twickenham. England had their last practice session yesterday.
Samoa-born centre Manu Tuilagi will make his first appearance for England after Martin Johnson included him in the starting team to face Wales at Twickenham tomorrow. The 20-year-old Tuilagi, whose 5 older brothers have all played for Samoa, qualifies to residency and will line up alongside New Zealand-born Ricky Flutie in midfield in the first of England's 3 World Cup warm-up games. Prop Matt Stevens also starts as he wins his first cap since 2008 after his return from a 2-year ban for taking cocaine. There will be 2 uncapped players among the replacements, 21-year-old Gloucester winger Charlie Sharples and Sarsens lock Marutish Botha, who was born in South Africa. Fullback Dylan Armitage, who was suspended for 8 weeks in January for abusing a doping official and banned again for 3 weeks for punching an opponent, is also being given a chance to redeem himself with a start at fullback. Flanker Lewis Moody, who missed England's 6 Nations campaign with a knee injury, returns to captain the side. It's Tuilagi, however, who will be in the main talking point among the sellout 82,000 crowd tomorrow. He made a huge impact in every sense in his first season at Leicester, where his pace, power and determination blasted through some of the best defences in the land. England face Wales again in Cardiff on the 13th of August before completing their preparations against Ireland in Dublin on the 27th of August. England team manager Martin Johnson said the warm-up matches were ideal build-up to the World Cup.
It's a pre-season game in one sense, but when we get there on Saturday in a full house, it's a test match, and that's what you want. You want these games as intense and as skillful and as hard as we can make them, because that's what obviously the World Cup's going to be when we get there.
Meanwhile, Futterly appearing in New Zealand, the country of his birth, would hold extra significance, and he had this to say after the practice session yesterday.
If I got the opportunity to go down to New Zealand, to represent England, it'll be just amazing. I'm sure, some of the other boys that were born in New Zealand have got the same feelings as well. So, end of the day, we've got to control what we can control over the next few weeks, and hopefully, put our hands up for selection.
The time now for this morning's sports roundup.
Former Japan defender Naoki Matsuda died in hospital yesterday, 2 days after collapsing during training from a suspected heart attack. 34-year-old Matsuda, who won 40 caps for Japan and represented his country at the 2002 World Cup, had been put on an artificial respirator after arriving at hospital unconscious on Tuesday. Medical personnel had rushed to Matsuda's aid early on Tuesday after he collapsed with a suspected heat stroke. With the recent lockout of players by NBA owners, several of the league's high-profile stars are starting to embrace the game on a smaller stage and appear prepared to play elsewhere this season if the dispute continues. This week's meeting between NBA Commissioner David Stern and the owners on one side and the players and their union representatives on the other only seemed to heighten the animosity, and both sides appeared dug in and ready to miss the 2011-2012 NBA season. The players are keeping busy in many different ways. Mark Webber has admitted it will be a huge ask to overhaul his Red Bull teammate Sebastian Vettel in the driver's standings and win the 2011 World Championship. Webber is currently Vettel's closest rival with a gap of 85 points separating the pair. His results have improved of late, but he has only finished ahead of teammate on one occasion this year, and Red Bull has faced stiffer competition from McLaren and Ferrari at the last 5 races.
Time to take a look at your currency exchange rates. Well, that's it from this edition of Breakfast News, but be sure to join us on our early updates. Until then, take care.